What's up everybody, Sujin Patel of Mailshake here. Today I want to talk to you about how to leverage cold email for marketing purposes, whether you're building links, promoting content, securing press mentions, whatever it is, you can leverage cold email and outreach to build these relationships. So first and foremost, this outreach for marketing purposes is really about building relationships, not short-term one-off tactics, because ultimately there's a few key decision makers or a handful of people in every industry that really move the needle, and ultimately having relationships with people can generate way more ROI than just getting one or two links or promoting one piece of content. You got to think about it long term. So cold email is a great way to start a conversation that you can build on top of. Don't look at it as a tool or a one-off transaction. Use it as a way to start a relationship. The first thing is to keep your list relatively small. No more than 100 people at a time. The whole spray and pray method of emailing thousands of people or hundreds of people to promote your content and doing link building is pretty much not going to work. What you need to do is filter and scrub your list to the absolute highest quality, whether you're going after high domain authority or high relevance. It's better to have a really targeted list so that you can put time into personalizing, because ultimately your success rate is what matters, right? You may get a 10% or 5% success rate if you email hundreds of people, but you can get a 50 to 75% success rate or response rate if you email 50 to 75 highly qualified people. And then again, don't forget the fact that those 50 to 75 people, you can email them again in the future to go do something else, and now you've got a relationship. So number two, focus on them, not what you're gonna get out of it, not for you. Focus on the value for them. Why they should share your article, why they should give you a link. Not necessarily about like, hey, I'm Sujin from blah, blah, blah. I just wrote this blah, blah, blah content on, and it's so awesome because blah, blah, blah. No, ask a question. Think about how you can frame it for them. Get them engaged, because if you start with yourself, no one's gonna be engaged. Also, think about what assets you have you can leverage to provide value to the recipient, right? For example, maybe you can share their content in advance and just let them know, like, hey, I shared your content. Maybe you have a lot of followers on LinkedIn or Twitter or what have you. Maybe there's an opportunity for them to guest post on your site, or maybe you can grab a quote from them. And again, if you start with just giving, you end up getting a lot. Or maybe you can cover their product or a roundup post. Whatever you do, ultimately start by giving value, because that starts a good relationship where they technically owe you one. Number three, include 3 elements of personalization. Use a CSV text replacement to do this at scale. So here's an example: name, company name, article of theirs, a recent positive coverage that they've received in another publication. So let's say they've been featured on a blog post, or they had a good review, or somebody wrote about them or whatever, or maybe they raised some funding, whatever it is, you can reference that. Keep your emails short, 2 sentences per paragraph, no more than 3 paragraphs. Use bullet points and list if possible and when possible, and don't include too many links. Here's an example. It's short, to the point, and it's about them. Number 5, connect on social media beforehand. So again, it warms up that email, and we're in the age of omni-channel outreach, where you can ping them on the phone, email, social media, Snapchat, whatever you want to call it, in person. The more ways you try, the better your success rate is going to be, because again, you just warm up that contact. Number 6, follow up. My recommendation for marketing purposes is to follow up at least 3 times. And when you follow up, don't just say just following up. Give more context. Expand on the pitch that you sent in the first email. Give them more enticing information. The more you can say you could give value or send something different than just following up, the higher likely that someone's going to respond to your follow-up, your second, third, fourth follow-up. All right, number 7, some technical stuff I want to go through to make sure your emails actually reach the inbox. One is to scrub your list manually, and to use Mailshake or any other email verification service. This way that you're making sure that your email open rate and your deliverability is the highest possible so that you can get the best open rate. And have a single, clear call to action. One specific thing you want to ask. So just a quick recap. You want to make sure you have a clear, easy call to action. Your email focuses on the recipient, not you. That you have a tight-knit, very personalized email. And at the end of the day, that you have a conversation and focus on building that relationship that you can add on and build on top of.